Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Bobby Valentine Sports Show. I'm your host, Frank Rampin. The MLB postseason is here. A bunch of unbelievable moments every single day. Make sure you tune in on Fox, TBS, all that good stuff. So many amazing games so far, and we're not even through the divisional rounds yet. So much more good stuff to come, the Championship Series and the World Series. But let's go back about a week and a half here. The Oakland Athletics just played their final series in Oakland and their final baseball game as the Oakland Athletics. They will be moving to Sacramento for the foreseeable future, and the plan is to go to Vegas, but more and more every single day it looks like that's not going to happen. So I was present, flew out to Oakland for the last ever series at the Coliseum. The Coliseum, such a legendary place, so many Hall of Famers, championships for both the Raiders and the A's on that field. Grew up going there. I'm a big Raiders A's fan. In case you haven't noticed, that wall's behind me. I wear this Oakland jersey almost every time I do this podcast. The A's did it too. The final 6 games, the last homestand at the Oakland Coliseum, the A's wore this Kelly green Oakland across the chest throughout every single game in the final 6 games. Classy move by the organization and the players. But man, it was an emotional week in Oakland, and I flew out there for the final series. I went to Tuesday night, and I went to Thursday, the final ever game at the Coliseum. So let's talk about that a little bit. We'll start off on Tuesday night. 30,000 people there on Tuesday night. Bunch of people showed up for all the games in the last series of the year. It was a great atmosphere, and I saw the final walk-off at the Oakland Coliseum. Jacob Wilson rips one right back up the middle, the first walk-off of his young career, scores Zach Geloff, and the last walk-off at the Coliseum hit by Jacob Wilson. And the Coliseum actually the most walk-offs out of any other venue in Major League Baseball since it was opened in 1968. So the Hall of Walk-Offs, as we'd like to call it, now that it's out of there. But so here's the first day ticket. They were giving out these commemorative tickets. It says Oakland Coliseum, home of the Athletics, 1968 to 2024, or 2024. There are 57 years of being in Oakland. Final series, pretty cool. Got the Oakland patch on the back with the 1968 to 2024. So that was pretty cool. And then they gave out the same one for the last game, but it said, it says the final game. No, it doesn't. It doesn't even say the final game. So it just says the date. This one says final series right here. The one I got from Tuesday. And this one, September 26, 2024. So it's the actual date. And I'm sure you saw a lot of people trying to go down to the side, trying to get ground crew men to give them dirt, pieces from the Coliseum. So many people trying to get pieces of memorabilia from the Coliseum. Well, I went down there with my ticket from that day, and guess who I ran into? Tyler Ferguson, the absolute beast, signed the back of this, and I had one of those Oakland commemorative beer cups from the last series. He scooped me a little bit of dirt from the warning track of the Coliseum. So not only did I get some dirt from the Coliseum, I didn't get a ground crew member to do it for me. I got somebody on the Oakland A's. Tyler Ferguson, the absolute man, one of my new favorite players in the MLB. What a guy he was. Signed my commemorative ticket and a little jar of dirt. Can't thank him enough. That was unbelievable. And he actually changed his walk-up song for the final series in Oakland to the Ball for Rage song. I'm not exactly sure what that song is called, but you know, the Ball for Rage song when the entire Coliseum starts going nuts. And they played it during the final game in Oakland during the 7th inning. It was unbelievable. The place was going crazy, and J.J. Bleday had a wild play. So Thursday comes around. They were giving out these tickets. You can go to the box office and get your ticket. So I got this ticket. I got it stamped by the Last Dive Bar right here and the actual Coliseum stamp. So I got all that. Pretty cool. And they were giving out the commemorative Coliseum. So here's a replica of the Oakland Coliseum. It's kind of cool. It's a little bit trashy. It's not so greatly done. Like the dirt on here is in the wrong place. Maybe you can see that, zoom in on it a little bit. But it's still kind of cool to have. It does have the numbers, the retired numbers. It doesn't have the names. Mount Davis looks way cooler in this than it does in real life. But, you know, had to have it, the Coliseum. Again, put it up in front of the boys. All the guys that played there. First guy to ever go 40-40 did it at the Coliseum. So, let's talk about what happened. So I pull in. The gates open. The game was at 12:37 Pacific time, right? Usually they open the gates 2 hours before on weekends and 1.5 hours before on weekdays. And this was a Thursday. So, hour and a half before would be a normal time. Game started at 12:37. They said online they were opening the gates at 9:37. 3 hours before first pitch, which is crazy amount of time. They said they were opening the parking lot at 8 a.m. Wild. So I woke up at 6 a.m., took a shower, got everything ready to go, shaved, about to get over to the Coliseum. My dad comes back down from getting coffee. We turn on the news, and the first thing they show is the Coliseum parking lot. Keep in mind, it's 6:55. It's not 7 a.m. yet. And there have been people lined up at the Coliseum gates since 5 in the morning, 4:30 in the morning. They've been there for over 3 hours trying to get in. So they opened the gates up over an hour early. They opened the gates before 7 a.m. when they said they were supposed to open them at 8. People were mobbing the place. It was an unbelievable scene when I got there. The parking lot was full of my people. Raiders, A's fans, A's flags, sell shirts, Raiders flags everywhere. And man, it was awesome. People were selling these commemorative shirts for the last game. I bought a couple for the legends of the team. Raleigh, of course, all the guys, Vita Blue, Jose Canseco, Mark McGuire, all on the shirt. Really cool. Ricky Henderson, Dave Stewart. I also got a shirt saying the last game. So people just lined in the parking lot hours and hours before the game on a pretty cloudy morning. So like I said, the gates were opening at 9:37. People got into the parking lot before 7. So the lines were absolutely mobbed. People were lined up to get in over an hour before the gates actually were opening. People were in the parking lot getting drunk, having food, having a great time, blasting music. It was a great, great party feel. It felt like I was tailgating for a Raider game. I've been to this stadium, the Oakland Coliseum, for, I don't know, probably 6 Raiders games, and the tailgating scene was identical to this one. And this was at 9 in the morning on a Thursday. This was an unbelievable scene. There's nothing like Oakland fans. The East Bay loves their sports, and it's an absolute shame what Manfred and John Fisher are doing to this team and this fan base. It's unbelievable. But people lined up, finally got in the gates at 9:30. Awesome. Final time ever coming through the Dennis Eckersley gate for me. It was a very weird day. A lot of emotions in the air. A lot of excitement as well from the fans, but still just a very, very weird and kind of eerie day. Once you got past the security, I mean, it was a mob scene on this concourse. This concourse hasn't seen this much action since the 2019 American League wildcard game, the most attended wildcard game in baseball history, right here at the Coliseum when they actually lost to the Tampa Bay Rays. But this place was absolutely bumping. So the first place I went to was try to go get this commemorative ticket from the box office, and the line for that was absolutely wild. So as I was standing there waiting in line, took some videos of this wall that they probably tore down the day after the game. Actually, no, they probably waited until the last pitch, and they had people up in there tearing down the A stuff immediately after because that's how Fisher rolls. But look at this concourse, man. Absolutely mob scene. You can't even walk. I was just like in awe about this. I've never been to the Coliseum when it's like this. I mean, back when I came to Raiders games a long time ago, like when I was young, like 10 years old, it was pretty packed like this, but still, it was not a good team. They weren't good. So it's just like these passionate fans are just there for these vibes, man. And final pan shot before the game. Coliseum's so beautiful, man. A lot of people give it a lot of shit, but I really enjoy the Coliseum. Maybe it's just because my teams play there, but I really enjoy the Oakland Coliseum, and it's a shame that this was the last time I'll ever be there. Right before first pitch here, had some Oakland legends, Dave Stewart, Ricky Henderson throwing out the first pitch. Place was going nuts. Look at this crowd already. This is about 10 minutes before first pitch, and this place is filled to the brim. There was 46,000 people there, I believe, almost 47, and I would not be surprised if that was just the seating capacity. Like, there was over 50,000 people in the stadium, standing room only, just walking around the concourse. Like, this place was absolutely packed. Look at these stands, filled all the way up to the third level before first pitch. Dave Stewart, Ricky Henderson, chucked one home. Ironically, Dave Stewart is the one who bounced it, not Ricky Henderson, the former, I don't know if he won a Cy Young. I believe he won a Cy Young. Former 20-game winner, I know that. Threw a no-hitter for the A's back in 1990. And man, the crowd was going nuts. It was unbelievable. And so right after legends Ricky Henderson and Dave Stewart throw out the first pitch, they go into the national anthem. And guess who's singing the national anthem? Barry Zito, the former AL Cy Young Award winner from 2002, singing the national anthem. It was pretty cool. Out of nowhere, too. Didn't seem like anyone knew that was going to happen, but Barry Zito did a very great job. Final Coliseum anthem sung by Barry Zito and accompanied with a flyover. Look at this plane. If anyone knows what that is, please let me know. I have no idea. It's not a fighter jet. This thing was massive, and listen to this. I could feel it. Like, oh my gosh, flew right over our heads. What a scene this was at the Coliseum. People were going crazy. Barry Zito finishes it off, and what an atmosphere this was pregame. all three levels, full out of green and gold, ready to support their team here in Oakland for the final time. And man, the pans at the Coliseum, I don't know if it's just me, I'm emotional about this, but I feel like panning at the Coliseum hits different. Like looking at the big monstrosity that is Mount Davis, fully packed out crowd, it was a very, very awesome scene. So the game finally gets underway, and the A's take the field in their Kelly Greens for the final time at the Oakland Coliseum. JT Ginn, the rookie, looking to pick up his first career win. And here we go. Final game at the Oakland Coliseum. So about ready to get things going, and it was just fitting that the leadoff batter for the Texas Rangers going into this one was Marcus Semien, the former A. Played shortstop for the A's for 6 years, is a native of the East Bay as well, went to Berkeley. So, Marcus Semien to get things started off versus JT Ginn in front of a packed house in Oakland. Foul tipped for strike one. So things underway and the crowd already into it. And early on in this game, fireworks, bottom of the first inning, A's looking to get on the board, but unable to after J.J. Bleday rips one into right center field. Nice play made by Travis Jankowski. But we move on. A lot of great things going on here. So we move ahead to the top of the second inning, I believe it is. J.J. Bleday up the dish with a bases loaded. And the first run of this one is actually going to come in off of a ground out, diving play up the middle by the former A, Marcus Semien, forced out at second base with the bases loaded, so a run comes in to score, making it 1-0. So now first and third for Shea Langoliers, the Oakland backstop. And some of the A's walk-up songs they changed to make Oakland. Shea Langoliers has a iconic one. Here he comes with the bases loaded pitch, lift that one into left center field. Wyatt Langford's going to make the play, but tagging and scoring from third, Lawrence Butler, and the A's on top 2-0. Coliseum, raucous, crowd going crazy. Here we go. And there were some inflatable baseballs flying around. I actually got a finger on it right there. I didn't get it on camera, though. But, you know, this thing ended up getting on the field. The grounds crew started having some fun with it, pretending to throw it back on. A lot of let's go Oakland chants, a lot of sell the team chants. This place was rowdy, telling John Fisher how they felt. And I kept saying this, kept thinking this about this day. What do you think John Fisher was doing during this game? Where do you think he was? What do you think he was watching? You think he was watching the game? Something tells me no. Something tells me no. But JT Ginn, unbelievable start, comes off the mound for the final time here at the Coliseum, getting a massive standing ovation. And JT Ginn actually ends up getting his first career win in this ballgame. So the Oakland faithful saluting JT Ginn as he comes off the mound. Bunch of amazing signs at this game as well. All over the place, found a bunch of great signs. You see a sell flag right there. Major League Bummer right here. I mean, it was just a great atmosphere in Oakland. Fans do it right there, and it's a shame that this is going to be the final time ever playing in Oakland. The signs out in right field, the sell, the man fraud, Major League robbery, all those things out in the outfield. Love to see them all. The last dive bar, the sell flags, baseball belongs in Oakland. I mean, it's just great. Unbelievable. The final ever big head race between Ricky Henderson, Raleigh Fingers, and Dennis Eckersley. This one was run by Ricky. Of course, Ricky had to win the last race on Ricky Henderson Field. It was only fitting. Things did get a little bit crazy here late in this game. People were throwing smoke bombs on the field. We did have a couple people to run onto the field, but we'll get to that. The final seventh inning stretch at the Coliseum. For the final time, take me out to the ball game. And man, this is when the emotions really started to get high. Very, very emotional scenes here. I've never really felt things like this at a baseball game. I mean, I've been to a couple playoff games in my life. I'm actually going to be going to the playoff game in New York for Mets on Tuesday night, so keep an eye out for a video there. But emotional scenes here. It started to get very, very sad, and I was starting to feel it. It was a brutal scene, but man, the crowd was unbelievable for the final ever seventh inning stretch at the Coliseum. Like I said, there were some flares thrown on the field late in it. Some green flares, but a couple yellow ones. Halting the game for a little bit. There's Crazy George, the absolute legend, the creator of the wave. One of the greatest waves I've ever seen also happened during this game. And look at him, Crazy George posing for the fans with his drum. Absolute legend right there. Oakland royalty. And look at this sign. If we were to leave Oakland, we should be looking back saying we made a mistake. That's what Rob Manfred used to say, and look what's happening now. What an absolute bum. So, A's get into a little bit of a jam here in the 8th inning. And what do you do when you get into a little jam? You bring in the flamethrower, Mason Miller. It was Miller time in Oakland, and man, the crowd was going crazy. 8th inning with 2 outs, looking to pick up a 4-out save with the A's on top 3-2. What a moment for Mason Miller, coming in front of a packed, sold-out 46,000-person crowd, and he was ready to go. Place was going crazy. I couldn't wait to see him pitch. This was going to be great. So I've already seen him pitch 2 times this year. Saw him pitch in Oakland back in May, and I saw him pitch against the Mets at Citi Field, his first career 6-out save against the Mets at Citi Field back in, I believe that was in August. Now coming in here for the final game at the Coliseum, looking to close this bad boy out. A couple more awesome signs we got here. You can read that one for yourself. A couple profanity words there. And this is when the crowd started to get really wild. Biggest thief in Oakland. That's a picture of John Fisher. This guy right behind me was an absolute legend. And there were a few times during this late inning, during the 9th inning, that Mason Miller threw pitches when there were flares on the field. Smoke bombs on the field. Mason Miller was just dicing people up. First batter was Leody Taveras. Or excuse me, that's Nathaniel Lowe. Nathaniel Lowe has no shot. And so here, after a few smoke bombs, 2 streakers get on the field at once. One of them gets all the way to the thank you Oakland sign in center field, going nuts, trying to shake out the paper and flipping off the security people, trying to get the crowd rowdy. This is when I thought things might go awry. My dad was telling me the whole time things are going to go crazy. I was like, Dad, this is not going to be as bad as you think. Not going to be as bad as you think. A few dumb people throwing smoke bombs. A couple people ran onto the field. But all in all, the ending of this last game ever in Oakland was not a tragedy like some people thought it would be. But did have to halt. Mason Miller had to stop a few times in the 9th inning. They were trying to get things off the field. There he is, striking out Leody Taveras. Coliseum crowd buzzing. One more out to go here at the Coliseum, and that will do it. So here we go. Travis Jankowski at the dish. Mason Miller looking to pick up the final out in Oakland. Grounded to Schumann at third. Over to first, and that will do it. The A's tenure in Oakland comes to an end, and the crowd of 46,889 here at the Coliseum on their feet for the final time. Players come on the field. Major League Baseball actually gave the players and the managers, or the coaches, a warning for this. Like, if the A's win, when the game ends, don't hang around on the field. Get off the field as soon as possible. Get out of there. We don't know what's going to happen. People are going to start throwing stuff. Like last year, the reverse boycott, people were throwing a bunch of stuff on the field. Flares were already thrown on the field during this game. Some toilet paper coming from the upper deck there, but nothing crazy. And guess what the players did? Guess what the players and the coaches said to the MLB? They gave a big ol' to you guys, and they stayed right out there on the field. They saluted the crowd. Stomper went out to the pitcher's mound, and guess who took the mic? Mark Kotze took the mic, addressed the crowd of 46,889, and for the final time started what he considers the greatest chant in all of baseball. And we'll let him take it from there.
I think we all should pay homage to this amazing stadium that we've had the privilege and pleasure of enjoying for 57 years. And I ask you for one more time to start the greatest cheer in baseball. Let's go, Oakland! 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 Let's go, Oakland!
Man, what a moment that was. Still gives me chills right now thinking about it. What a moment. The final Let's Go Oakland chant at the Coliseum, led by the final manager of the Oakland Athletics and former center fielder, Mark Kotze. Awesome moment that was. Beautiful time. And man, that was crazy. Fans did not want to move. Place was packed to the brim for at least 30 minutes after. Very sad time. And Max Schumann, one of the coolest moves of the day. So after a great moment from Mark Kotze addressing the crowd with the Let's Go Oakland chant, Max Schumann takes the Athletics flag and runs it around the Coliseum for the final time. Waving it around in center field. Takes off again. Max Schumann is the absolute man. Oakland A's baseball is finally over, and man, what a sad day, honestly. Max Schumann be doing it right by the fans, firing the people up one final time. And that's the final time I'll ever be at the Oakland Coliseum. What a very sad day. What a very fun day. What a historic day. 57 years of baseball over in Oakland. That'll do it. Man, what a time it's been. 4 World Series, 7 AL pennants, the most walk-offs in all of baseball since the structure was built. And man, one final win, 3-2 on the final day. September 26, 2024 will be a day never forgotten in the hearts of Oakland fans. And man, what an emotional time. So that closes the book on the chapter of Oakland A's baseball. They play in Sutter Health Park in Sacramento for a question mark amount of time until the next time being. So that closes the chapter on Oakland. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. The final time I'll ever be at the Oakland Coliseum and the final Oakland A's baseball game at the Oakland Coliseum. So until next time, peace out. I'm Frank Rampin.